Yeah, we're back. Did my Twitter got hacked? And it's me sending Instagram links? I hope not. Is this Gungrave? Is that Gungrave I seen? Once human? No, it's something new from NetEase? Okay.
Hello everyone and welcome back to IGN Summer of Gaming. Today, IGN has partnered with NetEase Games to provide an in-depth look at Once Human, a new weird survival game coming to PC. The opening of a mysterious silver door unleashed a catastrophe onto this world, forever changing the course of human history. Over the next 30 years, the last remnants of humanity are struggling and nearing extinction, until you arrived. Little by little, you'll gather resources in your struggle to survive and heal the land from the otherworldly terrors. No spoilers, but I'm digging the weird fiction aspect of this trailer, along with a more than winking nod to a cosmic horror author. But enough teasing. This is Once Human.
Yay. So it's what? Shooter? Horror? Soil horror? It's anomalies. And monsters. So they have this strange little thing that helps them in some way. Oh wait, is it like Division but from Korea? Oh. Like Supernatural Division by... No, it's like DayZ? I suppose it's some service game? Yeah, it's... So what if DayZ was would be made in Korea? Yeah, that's how Once Human looks like. Not bad. Not bad at all. Once Human.
But that's just the top-down view. Here to dive in deep on Once Human is Victoria Pengson, Senior Game Designer over at NetEase Games. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Victoria. I'm a developer from the Once Human team. I'm in charge of putting together the big world of the game, designing levels and environments, as well as developing non-player characters and their background stories.
Once Human is a new weird survival game, but
Weird?
what's new weird?
Well, New Weird is a literature and film genre that emerged in the mid-20th century, and it features unexplainable, incomprehensible horror, which is related to cosmic horror, some urban myth, and sci-fi stories. A good living example of this genre could be the SCP Foundation database that is quite popular these days online, and we did to some extent get inspired by them.
I love SCP, so this already sounds amazing, but what's unique about Once Human and what separates it from other survival games?
Once Human features a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has fallen after the havoc of Stardust. We have players named Beyonders in the game, and they have to face the threats of the unknown horror. In our game, survival is of highest priority to the players. Besides collecting resources and building their own shelters for survival, players have to craft and strengthen weapons and equipment to involve in intense fighting against both aberrant monsters and fellow human enemies. We have bosses named the Great Ones in our game. They are cunning,
So it's both like Secret World and Division and DayZ.
Appearance. Players need to compete with each other as well, both individually and united in groups named hives. They have to fight for ownership of strongholds or to loot resources in the dangerous areas we call impasse. These features all make our game, our Once Human, stands out from other survival games.
Now, the new trailer opens with a line from H.P. Lovecraft. What influence did you draw from his work?
Well, our team loves Mr. Lovecraft, especially in his unique way of picturing those eerie horror stories. And to some extent, we are inspired by his horror stories, and we are trying to build our own world of unique horror and mystery. We would like to convey to the players the essence of this world after the outburst of Stardust Havoc. This unknown micro creature just suddenly spread all over the world and contaminated everything. And we have monsters emerge and invade the world, and there our players, Beyonders, stands as a hero confronting all of this ever-changing and still unknown disaster.
Interesting.
Players, the Beyonders, have to evolve in their physical status and their technology to make more advanced equipments to fight back.
What was your inspiration for designing the aberrant monsters known as the Great Ones?
So the Great Ones in our game are powerful creatures coming from outside of the dimension where human lives in. They permeate the boundaries between dimensions and invaded the human world. So we looked back to Cthulhu concepts and the SCP project concepts for some inspirations when we designed these monsters, and we condensed the figures of the Great Ones from those. Well, they should look like something beyond human comprehension, daunting yet beautiful in a weird way. They're powerful as they look, and they are the most exciting challenges we have prepared for our players to experience.
What about the game map? What inspired your team to design those fascinating cities and structures?
Well, our game map is huge. So basically, the story happens on a big island named Nowcut. And on the island, there are generally 4 different areas. For example, there is the Blackfell region, which is in the east on that island, and it features marshes, moors, and deserts. And you can experience sandstorm weathers from time to time in this area. And other areas all feature its own geological structures and its unique landscapes. For example, Arkham Mountains in the north is cold and snowy and dangerous, and it's decorated with a lot of plane crash sites. And in the west, there are the Great Plains, and it looks friendly there, but it actually has the largest complicated underground subway tunnel systems. So you can actually explore into those dangerous tunnels and caves hidden there. Meeting a lot of enemies.
Now, this map is huge. What can players do in this massive map?
Well, the map is big, and what you can do in it is kind of countless. You can do a lot of things. At first, you can probably freely explore the game world on the big map, and you can
collect wood, collect stone, then collect wood, and collect stone. I can do only this, collect wood and stone, over and over again.
As it's limited in your shelter. And to build your shelter, you have to collect resources first. There are over 100 types of different resources that you can collect in our game. And some of them are natural resources like logs, stones, ores, and water, and animal products like hide and raw meat and stuff like those. And you can also loot the human strongholds to find scraps like industry products, and you can decompose them into useful materials to craft items. In terms of survival shelter building, you can build structures and you can actually decorate your home using like green plants and clocks and furnitures and so many different things.
Oh, I love decoration, so I'm definitely going to spend hours in that part of the game. But do you have any tips on how players can survive in the wilderness?
Well, first of all, you have to pay attention to your physical functions. Like, you have to ensure that you stay hydrated, you stay
you need to...
and you're sane enough to survive. If you dump yourself
You need
too long
to look out for your stats, like hunger and thirstness.
medicines to cure those. So craft and use various items like consumable items to ensure that your physical status is always in the healthy range. It's very important in terms of survival. And also you have to learn to improve your equipment and weapons. You can add attributes and potential skills to your weapons. You can craft like gun perks, and from blueprints, you can get like rare and higher quality weapons. So you have to explore the big world to find these gun perks and blueprints. Also, you probably need to form alliances with other players, and allies can boost the chance
I can play
of
alone.
great ones. And also, you form groups like Hive, and you can actually cooperate with your fellow Hive members to challenge other players.
And how do PvE Great One invasions work? Can they be soloed or do they need teamwork?
Well, the Great One invasions can be encountered in different level areas of the map. And basically, in one level area, there will be 1 to 2 Great Ones.
World bosses.
And each Great Ones will have basically 4 different difficulty levels, and you can unlock the higher level after you finish the previous one. So higher level Great Ones will definitely be more destructive and cause a lot more damage to you. If you are confident enough in your battle moves, in your combat skills, and in your equipment and weapons, you can solo the Great Ones alone. But generally, we recommend that 2 to 4 players team up and challenge them. Since the Great One invasion is such difficult PvE challenge, we also prepare generous rewards for every player who successfully contained a beast in their dimension.
What other PvE content is in the game?
Actually, besides the Great One invasion we just talked about, we have the raid dungeons, and we have various world exploration missions. Talking about the raid dungeons, well, they are at various locations around the world, and they feature prolonged exploration in the dungeon. Basically, there will be 2 to 3 bosses in one dungeon, and in each stage there will be 1 boss. And the battles in the dungeons are more intense, and it features a lot of battle mechanisms that you have to deal with. So we recommend that players team up, maybe 4 players form a team to challenge these dungeons. Besides intense battles, you can also loot the chest in the dungeons between battles, and you may find interactive pieces of paper, interactive computer terminals that you can actually get a lot of story information from them. These story slices sometimes provide a lot of important clues that will guide you to better perform your world exploration.
Besides PvE, we know that there's also PvP. How does that work?
Don't care about PvP.
Basically have 2 main modes.
No, I'm not interested in PvP, no.
One is called Stronghold Conquest. In terms to join this, you have to first form groups called Hive. Hive is a group that can accommodate 30 to 100 people each. And hives can occupy and compete for resource areas around in the big world. Different hives can definitely attack each other, so when one hive declares war on another, the system will automatically pick 2 leaders, 1 in each hive, and they have to recruit their teams of attackers and defenders. Then the attackers team need to gain dominance over the defenders' beacon area in a limited time, so as to have control over that resource area. And the defender team have to build defending constructions in the resource area and guard and stand their ground. There is also free PvP in the impasse zone. So indeed, the impasse zone is a PvE-VP exploration area.
PvP, PvE, no, still no.
Different teams just enter the impasse zone at the same time. You have to deal with non-player enemies like aberrant monsters or a set of soldiers, and at the same time, you have to beware of sneak attacks by other players, because everyone is competing for the rare resource called source in that area, and if you defeat another player,
rare resource called source. Nice.
And what rewards are there for players who participate in PvP?
In Stronghold Conquest, you can get gun perks, gun blueprints, you can get the energy link and Stardust Cortex, which is all possible rewards for players who participated in a Stronghold Conquest between hives.
How many time gets to one project per NetEase? Are they just gonna talk about once human? I wanted to hear about 7 deadly sins, solo leveling. What else they announced?
And if you use some Stardust Cortex when you craft your weapon,
Crosswell just started.
They will add random perks to your weapons and equipment.
Crosswell just started.
You can use them as money to exchange for other items in the non-player characters' inventory stores. It is located in a lot of human strongholds.
Now, what kind of firearms and weapons are available in the game? Can they only be crafted, or can you find them out in the world?
Well, firearms are the most important combat weapons in our game. In terms of types of firearms, we have so many. We have pistols, we have assault rifles, we have light machine guns, we have shotguns, we have sniper rifles, and we have submachine guns. In total, there are over 70 different types of firearms, and each firearm has its own shooting, feel, and characteristics exactly as it is in this reality. These firearms, well, you can find some in your world exploration, but those are kind of basic weapons. If you want to get like powerful and more advanced firearms, you have
The
to
best
craft them
one.
from blueprints.
The best one is craftable.
Resources that can be
Can
obtained
find cool weapon, you have to make cool weapon. You probably have grind for resources for a cool weapon, or buy it resources to make a cool weapon.
Scraps of the blueprints in
That I don't like.
exploration. The rarer the blueprint, the higher the quality of weapons you can craft.
What sort of customization options are there for the weapons?
Well, there are basically 6 human non-player characters factions in the game, and we also divide our guns into 6 different gun families, which is associated with these human factions, and they kind of share a lineage of development in skills and attributes. And players can also modify your guns, like improve the stability of the firearm. You can probably optimize the recoil, enlarge the magazine capacity by adding accessories to the guns. And these accessories, you can also loot them from strongholds or craft them based on accessory blueprints. Also, firearms have another important attribute called gun perks. Firearms with
Gun perks?
different rarities have different numbers and different levels of gun perks it can be assembled to it.
Okay.
By assembling these gun perks, you can give your weapon a lot of passive skills like chain damage, damage boost, freezing, ignition, automatic reload, and so on. So combining these gun perks with your passive skills and with your player's active skills, you can actually, form countless, like numerous builds, and this will definitely enrich your combat experience.
Now, is there anything you'd like to leave players with before they explore Once Human?
Well, I very much hope that Once Human will be ready for players as soon as possible in the future. And also, as a designer of Once Human, I am looking forward to see more and more survival game lovers join us, start their journey in Nowcut, and to experience exciting combats and explore the fascinating world with us. And there's a final advice for everyone who is trying to start their journey in Nowcut. Be sure to collect enough copper ores in the Sirius Island area, as much as possible.
Why?
You won't regret getting them.
Why?
Victoria, thank you
Why copper is so important?
We'll prep for a battle against some aberrant ones, but in the meantime, here to discuss the creature designs and cosmic horror / weird fiction roots of Once Human is IGN's Brian Altano and Max Scoville.
Weird fiction is a subgenre of supernatural and horror fiction that dates back to the 19th century and is still enjoyed to this very day.
That's right, authors like Robert W. Chambers and H.P. Lovecraft breathed life into the subgenre with The King in Yellow and the entirety of the Cthulhu mythos, respectively. And to this day, weird fiction's influence echoes throughout time and can even be found in contemporary media like Stranger Things.
Yep, so to celebrate all things weird fiction, we thought we would take a look at some of the aberrant monsters and rather strange environments in Once Human.
So let's start by taking a look at some of Once Human's boss monsters!
Boss monsters!
So the whole NetEase games would be about
First up, we've got the tree ant,
Once
who
Human?
clearly has some tree ant-like characteristics, but is also very clearly, not of this world. Definitely, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is more of the kind of demon tree from Evil Dead than it is like friendly old Treebeard from Lord of the Rings. This is a very scary tree creature.
Yeah, Evil Dead kind of made trees weird for me, and this creature will continue to invite that legacy of horror into my brain. When trees do stuff other than be trees and take forms that become human-like, don't like it. It's
Not a
scary
fan.
and gross and creepy. Also, he's got this like weird little, these things hanging off the top of his head. He's got that weird little goatee thing going on with his tree stuff, and then he's got 4 eyes.
Yeah, I don't care if you're a tree or a person. I don't like
Is
that.
it?
I don't like that little facial hair, that little goatee thing. I don't think anyone can pull that off. All right, here we got the Rabazex, who's clearly got some demo dog to him. Definitely getting some kind of lanternfish vibes too, you know, like, but
Yeah.
instead of having like a little tiny, you know, little light thing to attract people, he's got this just energy blast of whatever, you know, cosmic unthinkable power that is. And, you know, still it's got those little, you know, dangly whiskers there and that giant horrifying mandible.
Yeah, plus these, you know, like...
We're just gonna talk about monsters that you can meet
He's got this kind
for
of, like,
the rest of
crawling
10 minutes until future game start.
pretty jacked there.
Wow.
He's got these gross open wound mouth things that look like they might have stitches on them. I love them.
I can't
think
tell if
he's
those are
beautiful.
stitches or teeth.
All right. Love this one right here. This is a beautiful, beautiful beast.
Oh, Shadow Hunter. That was human at some point.
What the plan is in
Probably.
terms of this creature living its day to day, outside of just killing. Killing seems to be the primary objective here. We've got this huge claw and a huge minigun, which is great. Just a good thing to have on your arm. I don't know if he put that there himself, if he actually fell asleep next to it and it grew in.
Is he shooting minigun or is this a
you know,
plasma
this is just a
blast?
horrible experiment and he wants no part of it. So he's just going to do the best he can and kill
Just
it.
shooting plasma through minigun?
All right.
Hey, we
Here's-
love it.
Spider.
I don't. No, thank you. This is an
Sounds
Iraq
strange
scene.
spider.
Clearly, there are some spider influences, thus the Iraq, and also thus the me being deeply uncomfortable because I don't like those things with the 8 legs. No, thank you.
Yeah, this is a, you know, like this is a basically a big collective of various phobias here. You've got the tryptophobia thing, which is like the weird circles in the back. I have a fear of women's hair in the shower drain because I have to clear that out every now and then. That's gross. And so this one's got like, it's got a full on like human head, I believe, with hair. It's got this big pussy butt full of green circles that are like
say that.
disgusting. What do you? Come on, what is that? That's disgusting. And then you've got that little elephant trunk nose.
I think it's called like an ovipositor.
Yeah,
It's like what the queen alien has. It's the big egg sac. Bloop,
yes.
bloop, bloop. Yeah, can we look at something else, please? Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, it's floating
Yeah, now we're taking a
spirits?
look at some environments. This one's really cool. This is a dilapidated gas station that has been overrun by weird floating creature people. They're human-esque for sure, but they've got some very not so human elements to them, such as the elongated limbs and weird dangly fingers. Some of them are even missing body parts, which I guess is, you know, it's helping them to float because you can get around a little easier.
Yeah, this is giving me some Stranger Things vibes for sure. Like you definitely have more of a sense of this being sort of small town America or wherever. This is like, where are we? Seems pretty safe to assume this is Earth, and it's a place where there used to be gas stations, but now things have gone somewhat literally.
Yeah, I
sideways.
suppose they're gonna speak about this the whole time.
Oh boy. Okay, so right off the bat, blood lake or pus or some sort of horrible, toxic, weird, viscous, disgusting liquid that has covered the earth during a rainstorm. And we've got flying tentacle octopus monsters in the sky, and then people in just mucking around down there looking for something. I don't know.
Yeah, I
what.
think they might be looking for a way out, or what is that, like a golden corral? There's a sign up there. It looks like they're trying to go get a bite, but
Yeah.
no, this is very much, quite literally drenched in ichor, which is
Yeah.
one of the tenets
Ichor.
of like Lovecraftian stuff. Is really it's a fancy way of saying slime. And then
Yeah.
over on the right here, you've got like there's stuff growing. There's like sort of plant seems like the wrong word, but it's giving me again with the Lovecraft kind of color out of space. Like it's this something came from far away, and now it's proving to be quite an invasive species of some sort. It's just growing every which way. There's like little tendrils and things. It looks like there's kind of spores around the light up there, and lightning. Why not? Weird fiction will continue to spread its influence on all of pop culture for eons to come.
So check it out yourself when Once Human releases on PC sometime soon.
For everything monsters, you're already in the right place. IGN.
Can't spell monsters without IGN.
I can't believe it. The whole NetEase game.
Well, that about wraps things up for this presentation. Once Human is releasing on PC with a release date coming soon. And just because the stream's over doesn't mean the party's done. Tomorrow we're covering the Xbox Bethesda showcase.
One game? One game only?
And for more on
Damn.
all things gaming, stay stay tuned to IGN.com.
Damn. This I did not expect at all. Well. Yeah, now we're waiting for future game show. So I will finish YouTube one for this. 29 minutes.